welcome back. If you're new, my name is Ashley and this is Agent Renovation, where I help agents with winning strategies and winning considerations to help pass the levels of the agent game. In today's video, we will be speaking about correcting market strategies and mainly speaking about correcting market strategies around price reductions and considerations of what type of properties you're dealing with in a correcting market and how to deal with your price reductions. So let's talk about the price reduction as a tool you're able to use to execute a strategy inside of your real estate deal in your agent life, your agent game. The price reduction is a saving grace when the market starts dipping. What's gonna happen is first the market starts sitting, right? We all know it sits for a little bit and that's awesome, that's cool. Prices aren't adjusting, homes are still coming on the market, maybe a little less because people are seeing they're starting to sit. Their days on market are going up, but nobody's yet adjusting their prices down. Okay, that's the sitting period. That's your first actual sign that the hot market is over. That's when your strategy should go into place. That's when you start planning. That's when you start slashing your agent costs. And that's when you start farming hard on only the type of business you want and avoiding everything else. That's the market you really want to change your strategies. Once we're in the sitting market, people will hum and haw for a while. Okay. They don't want to lower the prices. They don't want to lower the prices. It continues to sit, it sits. Next thing you know, Sally down the street, she actually has to sell. So she's like, I guess I'll price reduce. Sally goes first. Sally does the first price reduction because she's got to move. She's held on for 3 months. She tried to hold on with the neighborhood, keep the prices strong, not give in. Houses just kept sitting. So Sally says to herself, man, I've got to price reduce. I really need to sell. Like I need that money or something's going on in her life. Who knows? Not relevant. Sally needs to sell. There's always going to be someone who needs to sell. Okay, Sally does her price reduction. Bob down the street goes, oh, man, I really need to sell. And now Sally's price reduced. I better price reduce. And thus the game of price reducing begins. And it is a vicious chase down. What happens after the market starts moving down is one motivated seller price reduces. Somebody else who's a motivated seller needs the money, can't hold on any longer, sees the price reduction, goes, oh shoot, I don't want them to go first. I better get under them. Undercutting. Okay, somebody over in neighborhood B now needs money. Maybe the new interest rates, maybe it's the price of gas. Maybe they have 6 kids and their food just went $2,000 more a month. We don't know and it's irrelevant. Buddy in neighborhood B now needs to sell. Okay, so now he's gonna price reduce and thus the game begins. They just start undercutting each other. And the longer the time period goes on the game and nothing moves off the board, the more people become motivated sellers. A lot of people can sit on the board and wait for a while. Maybe they don't even have to move at all, or maybe they just know they wanna go to the next summer town over. However, they're not, it doesn't have to be today. But 4 months goes by, 6 months, and they say, you know what, I really wanna get there now. So maybe they're not motivated and they need the money, but maybe they're ready to get to their next chapter. They're gonna lower too, and everything just starts lowering, and then eventually it becomes a chasing market. In the beginning, when we move from the phase of sitting before we enter the chasing market, it is the best strategy to be wise with the clients and explain price reductions and how this chase begins, and how you do not want to enter the rat race of the chasing because hundreds of thousands of dollars disappear off the market overnight once we get into chasing. It just goes vanish. Before that begins to happen, it is a great strategy to properly explain to clients the time balance price of how long can you wait versus how much do you want to leave on the table. How much are your mortgage payments? How much is it to service this house, carry your home, carry it another month, carry it another 2 months versus lowering the price now. But the other consideration is you must look at how much is going to be off of the table in the next couple weeks, next couple months. And the rate that the reds for price reductions are showing up on the MLS, it doesn't look like it's going to be headed back up tomorrow. Thus, if we can look at the numbers and we can see the steady decline in sales and the inventory rising and the price reductions happening across the board, then as agents, we should be having the discussion with our clients. Okay, I know the house was worth X yesterday, but we have to remember that money never existed. Just because the market went up, as long as you didn't sell your home, it was never real money. It's imaginary value. Unless you sell the home, it never belongs to you. The first thing to really get clear on is perception with the seller, meaning when the market shifts, they think their home is worth X, but it's not anymore. So the best way to explain it to a seller is to explain that that value never existed in the first place because it wasn't real dollars unless the home was sold. It was simply an asset that at that moment was worth it. It's kind of like gold online. Gold goes up and down, but the day you sell it is the day you get the value of it. So first, it's explaining perception to them. And then the main goal becomes explaining the time balance, meaning if for sure, and you know this should be numbers based, your market is diving, then you must explain to your sellers that yes, it might be $10,000 less today, and unfortunately it was worth $50,000 extra 2 weeks ago. However, at the rate we're going and the rate the listings are coming on, the likelihood that it could be worth less in 3 weeks, 21 days is pretty good. So we need to look at, do we want to let go of 10,000 now, or do we want to wait until we have to let go of 100,000? These considerations become stronger the more cookie cutter the property is as well. And I don't mean that in any, cookie cutter does not mean not great. There are gorgeous homes in master planned communities that are luxurious. And anytime you have a lot of one product concentrated, no matter what the quality or price range, the price reductions need to be seriously considered at the beginning. Because for instance, if you're in a master plan community that has 300, 200 townhomes that are all identical, maybe 80% of them got the white kitchen and 20% went with the walnut. That's often how it is. Other than that, they're basically all the same with the slightest variations, maybe in backyard or something. And when the market starts getting flooded, you run the risk, if you don't price properly at the very beginning in a master plan community, especially in a shifting market, that others will start coming in from the master plan community, meaning other homes that are identical will start hitting the market, and thus the slashing begins again. So when we're in correcting markets, it's one thing for the detached homes if they are unique and different altogether in the neighborhood, meaning each one's a little slightly different. They don't have to be radically different, but they have to have different things to offer. That keeps the prices a little more stabilized. It creates less undercutting than when you're in a master plan community and the market shifts. When the market shifts and you're in a master plan community and there's a lot like you, at that point you really have to consider the time, because if you know the direction the market's going, pricing high to begin with or asking for that little bit too much because the seller thinks, oh, I might still get it, could cost grand in the long game of that seller if 2 other units come in and start undercutting you. This recently happened to me. I had a townhouse, we had the papers out, they were gonna get signed. For some interruptions in signing came up, and next thing you know, 3 days later, 2 more units in the master plan community came up at 1.3. And the 2 better quality units than us on the market within the community that had slight variations that added value over ours decreased under the price we initially were gonna price at. And just like that, $107,000 disappeared in thin air because of a 3-day delay in signing. And that's how fast it can really happen. So remember, I know it's not fun when it's a correcting market, and I know it's not fun explaining to clients and homeowners that their homes are no longer worth that. However, when your market's shifting, you're saving them by bursting that bubble of reality. I think the newspaper, I think a lot of agents, they just wait so too long to tell people. And it's somebody's largest asset, and it's these homeowners' largest assets, and we don't know what they have riding on that, meaning the false reality of the market being strong is in nobody's favor. I hate hearing horror stories about so-and-so told me it was this and so-and-so told me that, and next thing you know it wasn't. My kid needed this for university, and something falls for that family. And I've seen some really sad stories. I've heard some sad stories. I've seen some sad stories over my years. Almost always around these correcting markets where everybody paints this beautiful pictures of roses and beaches, and nothing's selling and prices reducing across the board. Crazy.